afternoon and welcome to the 2022 Greater Summersville Area Tourism Awards Luncheon, hosted by the Summersville Convention and Visitors Bureau. My name is Tracy McCoy, and for those of you that do not already know me, I'm the Executive Director of the Summersville Convention and Visitors Bureau. On Monday, at our community kickoff event, Mayor Schaefer made a proclamation declaring May 1st through 7th, 2022 as National Travel and Tourism Week here in Nicholas County and the Greater Summersville area. National Travel and Tourism Week was established in 1986 by President Ronald Reagan to salute travel in America and tourism's contributions to the economy. The future of travel is the theme for this year's celebration. This week, in addition to our community kickoff on Monday, we also encourage local businesses to wear red in support of tourism and share pictures on social media. On Tuesday and Wednesday, hospitality training professional Rita Suter from 5-Star Customer Service Strategies in Georgia came and conducted seminars on delivering quality hospitality and how it pertains to everyone, not just those in hotel or restaurant industries. There were over 125 attendees that took advantage of this incredible educational opportunity. We are here today to recognize the elementary students that participated in the art contest and to give accolades to the best of the Greater Summersville Area Award winners. Tomorrow and Saturday, we encourage the entire community to go out and appreciate all the wonderful things that our area has to offer. It's the perfect time to go and try out that new restaurant, that new attraction, or new shop that you just haven't had the chance to yet. Please be sure to post pictures and use hashtag Visit Summersville or tag the Summersville CBB. I would like to extend a very special thank you to Mary Ann Taylor, Executive Director of the Summersville Arena and Conference Center. Not only has Mary Ann and her staff done an excellent job preparing the arena for events this week, but Mary Ann has also been an integral part of helping me find my way in my new career here at the CBB. I can truly never thank her enough for the wisdom and guidance she's extended my way since I started this journey 7 months ago. To all of our local tourism partners, thank you for working together with the CBB to promote Nicholas County and the Greater Summersville area. Being home to West Virginia's largest and most scenic lake, along with being the gateway to the south, which includes America's newest national park, the New River Gorge, we truly are a top destination for families, adventure seekers, and outdoor enthusiasts alike. I'm very appreciative of each and every one of you. I would also like to thank Mayor Robert Schaefer, the City Council, and the County Commission for all of your support and encouragement. It's evident that you realize the direct positive impact that tourism has on our community and the incredible potential that we have to grow the tourism industry here. Your continued support enables the CBB to continue our efforts in showing the rest of the world just what an incredible destination we are and the abundance of wonderful opportunities that we have to offer. The Summersville Lake sees approximately 700,000 visitors per year. In Nicholas County, as of 2020, tourism has provided for 470 jobs and $48.9 million in direct spending. I've had the opportunity to collaborate with a wonderful group of individuals that serve as the CBB Board of Directors. They willingly sacrifice their time and energy to serve. They fully support the CBB's mission, efforts, and projects, and I'm very proud to have them as part of my board. As I call your name, if you would please stand up. Our Vice President, Jay Burrell, Secretary Elizabeth Dix, and additional serving board members, Stevie LaRose, Lindsay Skidmore, Susan James, Ashley Wall, and Greg Bishop. Please join me in a round of applause to show our appreciation for the contribution to the tourism industry in our community. Jay Burrell to the podium.
Tracy has in her notes to breathe. I don't think she did. No, she does wonderful. Tracy's been with us about 7 months and had never worked in this type of role, let alone tourism, and she's done a wonderful job. So very much excited to have her on board, and her energy is non-stop. The Energizer Bunny has nothing on this young lady, so I'm glad that she's there. So Sam, our president, should be doing this, but he's chasing a bear. He's a DNR officer, and so he has got a call to eradicate a bear somewhere that was aggravating someone that was in their Airbnb. And so he can't be with us this morning. But my name's Jay Burrell, as Tracy said, and I'm an at-large member. So I think one of the unique things we've tried to do, I've been on the board, I don't know, 9 years next year, is try to bring tourism partners in, as well as at-large community members that aren't directly in the tourism industry. And I think that's been a real positive for the board, and it's neat to work on it. It's a relief for me to get away from manufacturing and go into something different, and to spend my volunteer time in that type of role. So happy that you could be here today. Tracy's put on a heck of a week with some incredible participation in hospitality training. Our hospital had well over 50 people involved in that, and I thought that was really neat. WV Medicine getting on board with Braxton and Somersville Hospitals and getting involved with that, as well as our tourism partners. So that was real good. I'd like to introduce Brian Reed. He's our regional representative of the governor, and he's going to have a few words for us from Governor Jim Justice. Brian?
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, Tracy. I know there's a lot of hard work goes in to putting not only this together, but the entire week and everything. You know, you only have 7 months in. So for Tracy. Now, I had to make a promise. Governor Justice truly wanted to be here. He sent his regrets that he can't. But I had promised I wouldn't let Baby Dog know, because she's had a tough, long, hard winter, and she's ready to get her bathing suit on and sunglasses, hit the lake, get in the caverns, and take it all in. So thank you for allowing me to stand in on his behalf. He did prepare this greeting he wanted me to share with you, or hope that I could share with you, and he starts by saying, it's a pleasure to welcome you all to the 2022 Community Tourism Award. Here in Somersville, West Virginia. This event is a celebration of National Travel and Tourism Week. Amid the scenic beauty of Nicholas County and its great outdoor adventures, you not only assist our state and our strong tourism industry, but also underscore efforts to continue growing our economy through tourism. Year after year, your commitment to showcasing all West Virginia has to offer, from rafting, zip lining, unique shops, dining, and lodging experiences, enables us to proudly welcome tourists from near and far to explore our beloved state. Your hard work and collaboration have transformed local activities, attractions, and even, reading too fast, and events into annual traditions for our families and friends, while enticing visitors to discover the Mountain State. Furthermore, I commend you your incredible commitment and leadership. I encourage you to learn from one another and seek new avenues to support local businesses and tourism. I'm very proud of you all, the tourism experts, and hope this gathering will further inspire you all to help secure an even brighter future for West Virginia. This time, sincerely, Governor Jim Justice. Thank you all.
Now one of our biggest supporters, Mayor Robert Schaefer.
I know there's a lot of you in this room that won't believe this, but I'm going to be short and sweet. And I think they did this on purpose. Right below me says lunch. Honestly, what an exciting turnout. Everybody in this room is important. They're important to the wheels on the bus that make our economy go round and round. And I can't say enough about our local CVB and their board of directors. I said when I read the proclamation declaring our city with our state and this nation national travel and tourism, to put your seatbelts on, because we're getting ready to go new places and higher places. So today's celebration, full credit goes to our incredible local Convention Visitors Bureau and their board of directors, and I mean that. They do great things. They work hard for us. It's good to see, and I'm excited to see the kids out. I mean, they do a wonderful job, including everybody that needs to be included in this celebration. So My hat's off to them, and let's give them one more big round of applause. Tracy, you did an incredible job with your opening statement. You really did. You've been doing a wonderful job in the short time you've been our director, and you make it easy on me because you said everything I was going to say. So I appreciate that, and I encourage you to continue to do what you're doing. I also want to highlight this table right here has my city council. These are my partners. And all the way around, what happens in Summersville happens because of not only us, but all of you. It's partnerships and collaborations and teamwork. And so again, thank you. I also, in a big way, would be remiss if I myself didn't welcome Madam Secretary, Chelsea Ruby. I got to tell you folks, when you look at the big level, the state level, she does a wonderful job in representing and bringing and driving the economics of the state through her and the work that she does. Chelsea, and we're so proud of you and thankful that you are in that position. So thank you, and thanks for your busy schedule being with us in such an important week. So thank you. Enjoy lunch. Thanks.
So I believe if the kitchen is ready to start serving, Tracy's asked me if I'll bless our lunch, and we're going to serve the head table, and then they'll start working around. They're actually going to serve your lunch to you, and we'll get the head table going so we can keep the balls rolling after they've had a chance to eat, all right? If you would, please join me in prayer. Father our God, we have so much to give thanks for. On this National Day of Prayer, Father, I give thanks for the country we live in, the state we live in, our county and our city. Father, I just thank you for our leaders in those spots and ask for your guidance, for your hand on them as they lead our state, national, and local levels. Father, just thank you for those who are here today, and just it's neat to see the kids out. Thank you for them. And I think the opportunity to get together and visit and have lunch and recognize some folks. Father, bless this food, nourish our body, that your will will be done. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, thank you guys. Enjoy lunch.
With this, but we partnered in a big way with Adventures on the Gorge and ACE, and I'm very excited today to have one of our newfound partners, the CEO, President of Adventures on the Gorge with us, Roger Wilson, and his marketing lead, Chelsea Bricker. They're here today as my guests for lunch, and I got to tell you, we're really excited about this partnership that we formed. We continue to add new partners to it. Chelsea joined us today, and it's going to do a lot of great things for this area. And of course, it also has a big highlight that hopefully when we get to the finish line, it'll improve recreation as well. So I just want to do it in a big way. Thank Roger and Chelsea for coming up and having lunch with us today, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Because I know you all have other things going on as well. But first off, we want to recognize our elementary school art contest winners. And so the topic was tourism of the future? Future of travel. All right, I was close. There's some challenges out there for Mayor Schaefer. If you go through, there's a lot of things kids want on those posters out there, so you're going to have to form a committee. So it was exciting to see that. So elementary school students across the county in grades K through 3, and then another group 4 through 5th were invited to draw what they wanted for the future of travel and to look at the greater Summersville area. We had entries, and we definitely appreciate the creativity of the kids that joined in. And so we have a little presentation for the award winners on the K through 3 grade art contest. Our third place winner was Amelia Robinson of Cherry River Elementary, and her teacher is Miss Barnett. Okay, there we go. Awesome. Thanks, Amelia. Yes.
Do you want to point to which one?
Very nice. Thank you.
And again, in K through 3 for the art contest, our second place winner was Willow Moore from Mount Nebo Elementary, and Mrs. Marks is her teacher for first grade.
Great job.
And then our first place winner in the K through 3 was Gavin Lewis from Summersville Elementary, and Mrs. LaRose is her second grade teacher, or his, I'm sorry.
Congratulations. You did a sometimes I do when there's meat stuff.
And then in the 4th and 5th grade category, our third place winner is Kaylin Rader from Golly River Elementary, and Mrs. Given is the 4th grade teacher there. And in the 4th and 5th grade, second place was Ryland Brooks from Glade Creek Elementary, and Mr. Hanna is the 4th grade teacher. And then winning first place in the 4th and 5th is Emma DeMoss from Summersville Elementary and Mrs. Hoover's 5th grade class. So the art contest has been a long-standing thing that Mary Ann started years ago, and it's neat to see the kids, the teachers and the students involved, and the principals have to get behind it, the teachers have to get behind it, and especially since it was just recently Teacher Appreciation Day, I just like to thank our teachers because I am very appreciative of them. I may have a weak spot. My son's a teacher, so, or one of them is, so maybe that has something to do with it. So now I'll get ready to introduce our keynote speaker, and I've done this before. Chelsea had a different title, but I've done this before because this is the second time she's joined us, and you know we've been privileged to have Chelsea before, President Gee from the university, department heads from the university. And to come to Summersville and take their time out of their schedule is very well appreciative. But Chelsea was appointed the Secretary of the West Virginia Department of Tourism by the governor in March of 2001. So if you don't know, that was a change, right? That was a change from commissioner. Bigger seat at the table for something that's very important to West Virginia. This was marked by the elevation of our tourism partner to a cabinet level department where she served as a tourism commissioner for 4 years prior. Under her leadership, tourism in West Virginia has seen historic success. Annual traveler spending grew by $611 million, an almost 15% increase in 3 years preceding the pandemic. Along with growth in visitation, the state has seen historic levels of private investment, and recent projects total more than $250 million in new developments and represent every region of the state. I won't go through the accolades and the awards and the boards and the things like that, but I will point out one thing. And you can only hold this against her 3 days of the year. We played basketball twice and we played football once. She did go to the University of Oklahoma, but she married a West Virginian. So there's a chance for Chelsea. So please join me in welcoming her with us today.
Thank you. And it is great to be back. I am so glad to see people all eating in the same room and congregating and out doing things. And I'm thrilled to be back here today. In my job, I get the opportunity to travel around a good bit and meet with a lot of different groups. And it's interesting because different groups are in kind of different places when it comes to tourism. We've got some areas where they're just getting started in tourism and they're trying to, get their feet under them and figure out what are the assets in our area. And then I've got places like this that are more mature tourism destinations that have more attractions, have been working at it longer. And so I love to do all the different types of visits, but it's really great to be with so many friends and partners here today. Tourism is 100% a team effort. Whether you're talking about the marketing side of it or the development side of it, it is never something that's done at the top or at the bottom. We all work together. If you think about somebody going on vacation, they're going to look to 30 to 40 different websites to find the places to go, which means they're going to visit your website and your website and your website and my website and your website. On the development side, it's the exact same thing. So it's great to be here with everybody today to celebrate some of the successes that we've seen over the past couple of years. So I want to walk through just a little bit about what we do. If you haven't worked with our department before, we are the state level agency that's over the marketing and promotion of the state. So we used to just be responsible for the ad campaigns and the public relations. That role was expanded a couple of years ago to now look at the development side, to also look at how do we grow the tourism businesses that we have and how do we add new ones. So I'm going to give you kind of updates on both areas today, but want to first start with the number one question I get asked is about COVID. I'm tired of talking about COVID, you're tired of hearing about COVID, but in order to tell this story, I've got to talk a little bit about COVID. So I will tell you, the greatest news that I could deliver today is that people are traveling again. I unfortunately gave updates for 2 years where I would say 80% of people are still thinking about COVID and making their plans. That number went down and down and down, and today we're at a record low of 19% of travelers are now thinking about COVID when they make their plans. For a state like West Virginia, that is a great success for us to see those numbers bouncing back. Even better, I can tell you that last month, for the first time, our statewide revenues that are related to travel and tourism, so those are the hotel motel taxes, the sales tax on campgrounds, all of those have officially surpassed 2019, which I use as my baseline. So we are back in the game again. We are now looking back to our normal days and comparing to those, and I couldn't be more excited about it. We were just talking about summer travel and what we kind of predict is going to happen. If I had a magic 8-ball, I think it would say we're going to have a really strong summer. I've got a number of indicators that I monitor. We look at a lot of national data, but here in West Virginia, I also just look at consumer interest. How many calls we're getting, how many website visits we're getting, The number of people ordering vacation guides, I can tell you all of those things are up, have rebounded again to pre-pandemic levels. So we are hopeful that we've got a lot of folks headed to the Mountain State this year. I always like to start by sharing some numbers just of the overall impact of the tourism industry in West Virginia. Each year, travelers spend almost $5 billion in our state, and we support 47,600 jobs. So it is a huge, huge impact to state and local communities. Collectively, these travelers are spending $791 million in state and local taxes. So it has become a huge driver for the state, and we're seeing great increases. To hone in a little bit on this area, I've got these same numbers for your region, and your region is bringing in more than $200 million per year in traveler spending, over $17 million in taxes, and supporting about 3,000 jobs. So it's important not only for the state, but especially in this region where you've got such a strong tourism base. So to give you an idea of what those numbers mean, I told you we were at about 4.8 million per year. And we saw this incredible thing start happening a couple years before the pandemic. Thanks to the governor and the legislature, and I see Senator Baldwin here, they came in and truly elevated tourism. We have more than tripled the budget. I have never asked the legislature for a single thing since I've been here that they haven't given us, and given us with overwhelming support from both parties, from everyone. And so we have seen just unbelievable support on the financial side, and that's really paying off. It also came at a great time when there was this national resurgence for the outdoors. A lot of folks think that really started with the pandemic, but if you look at the data, it happened a couple of years before the pandemic. People, especially in big cities, were starting to say, we want to be outside more. It was really helping us with that added advertising. We were telling the story of being this unbelievably beautiful outdoor state, and then COVID hit. COVID hurt everybody everywhere, but I will tell you that we were on this great upward trajectory. Then the pandemic hit, which you've all seen the shots that were all over the news for months and months of empty airports, empty cruise ships, just empty hotels. It was just a heartbreaking sight to see for the industry. The industry lost more jobs in this pandemic than ever before in any other event, including 9/11, which was a huge hit for the travel and tourism industry. But in West Virginia, those impacts were much less severe, almost about half of what they were everywhere else. But like I said, we're bouncing back really fast. If you've ever talked to me before, you know that I'm really research and data driven. I can drive you crazy just telling you number after number after number of how all of this works, and reading industry trends. So I spend a lot of time looking at the national surveys to find out what is that post-pandemic traveler looking for, and how have things changed. And I will tell you that across every single survey that I've looked at, I find three major themes. We find uncrowded places. They don't want to go to big cities right now. They want to go to places where they can get outside, they can stretch their legs and not see a lot of other people. They want to go to small towns. They like that small town charm, and they like outdoor recreation. Those are the things. Outdoor recreation is a wide, wide swath. So it can be the high adventure rafting on the Gauley, or it can be going to a city park and taking a stroll in the evening. So there's a lot of things, but folks across the country are putting it at the very top of their list of what they're looking for in the coming year. Good news is, those are the three things we have always advertised in West Virginia. Those are our product. I've said before that, when the pandemic hit, I spent a lot of time talking to my colleagues from other states in the same positions. And we were all talking about strategy. What should these commercials look like? Should we have masks or no masks? And what should we be showing? Should we be showing people or no people? And I'll tell you that I heard a lot of people talk a lot about their changes in strategy. We didn't make any changes. We took the commercials that we already had scheduled for that spring, and we put them back out there because they promoted these things that are not popular. So we're really excited about the future. Again, we're seeing a huge resurgence in outdoor recreation. Just a couple of highlights from last year, and I think these will resonate with everyone here. First, we had an all-time high in visitation. This is based on cell phone tracking data, just looking at movement around the state. It wasn't just out-of-state folks coming in. We also saw record-breaking numbers of West Virginians traveling. I think a lot of folks canceled vacations during the pandemic and decided to stay home in West Virginia. The best news is that you all are still taking those West Virginia trips that you tried out during the pandemic, so we're seeing more and more in-state travel. Hatfield-McCoy Trail permits were up 46%, whitewater trips up 26%, skier visits 37%, New River Gorge Park visitation up 30%. I mean, these numbers were just incredible. And again, these are all in a pandemic. And these are looking back to where we were before. So we're really excited about what we're seeing. Another trend, and special thanks to our legislative leadership on this one for helping us get the taxes around it sorted out. We're seeing a huge increase in vacation rentals. I know this area is one of the benefactors of that, but it's a national trend and it's one we're really seeing here in West Virginia. So we do a good bit of advertising. Our overall budget now is about $25 million. So again, we've more than tripled it, and we're advertising in these core markets. There are some additional markets that we look at just on the digital side, but these are the markets where we're focusing the majority of the funds. These are the markets that are best performing right now. I'll tell you, we saw some changes during the pandemic. Going into the pandemic, our fastest growing market was Washington, D.C. That actually flipped with Pittsburgh. We're now seeing greater growth from Pittsburgh than D.C. They're both growing very, very quickly. But we've seen some changes with these markets. So this is something that we look at each and every season. We make adjustments even within the seasons where we see greater performance. But for now, this is it. The three markets where we're doing the best as far as who's coming to the state are adventurous. So people who are looking to make their vacation decisions strictly based on an activity, an outdoor activity that they can do. Outdoor families. So these are generally dual income households that have disposable income and kids, and they're looking to get away, a lot of times get away from big cities. And then the last one is what we call our golden explorers. And most interesting in this segment is that we're seeing greatest performance in this segment. And it's grandparents who are now doing multi-generational trips, meaning they're taking the kids and they're taking the grandkids with them. So that's the biggest change that we've seen since the pandemic in these audience segments, and one that we're watching really closely, but one that I think will pay off for us. Again, the tourism advertising is paying dividends. Here's just two examples. I hope you're all seeing our ads. Can you raise your hand if you have seen a tourism ad in last year? Okay, good. You should all be seeing them. If you're not, I want to know what you watch on TV and where you're going. But these are some examples of ads. The top one was an ad in Travel and Leisure. The bottom one, I believe, was a Pittsburgh outdoor advertisement on a billboard. One of the areas where we've seen the greatest success in the past couple of years, and this is one where we've really been working with all of you at the local level, is to help tell our story nationally and internationally. We have had more than 3 billion earned media impressions, which is basically marketing speak for free views. It means that instead of paying for advertisement, we were getting publications like Lonely Planet, Condé Nast, Travel and Leisure, all of these publications to not only come to West Virginia, but to do stories profiling. So thanks to all of you who have hosted these people as we brought them in over the last couple of years. I'm happy to report, I'm thrilled to report that we are the only destination featured as a top destination for 2022 in all of these publications. As far as I can find, As far as I can go back, I'm not sure we've ever made one of these top 10 lists, but this year we've made Lonely Planet, which is a big international publication based out of Australia. We've made Condé Nast, USA Today, Fromers, and then we got another one last week, which is CBS for summer family vacations. So they just keep coming. This is the best kind of publicity you can get, because not only is it free, but people really trust these sources on the top places. You want to go to a popular destination, you don't want to go to a crowded destination, but you want to go to a popular destination. So our goal is to be popular and uncrowded all at the same time with what we can do it. One area in particular that has received a tremendous amount of attention through these public relations efforts is the new national park. I cannot underscore for you all what a spotlight that has brought for West Virginia. I've had folks tell me, well, that's great for Fayetteville, but that doesn't help the rest of us. But I'm here to tell you it obviously impacts your area, but I think it impacts the whole state. Because what it does is it elevates the impression that folks have as our state as a top-tier tourism destination. There's so many people who book their trips based on national parks. That's kind of the gold seal of approval. And knowing that we now have one puts our entire state on the map. So we couldn't be more excited. I'll tell you, interestingly, I don't think it's died down at all. I think folks are just as excited today as they were the day after the designation. I keep waiting for kind of a drop-off, but we are seeing a tremendous amount of interest in this area. Because of all this state investment and because of all this national and international attention, we're also seeing a great deal of private investment in the state. So these are 4 projects, and they're not the only 4, but these are 4 that I thought were worth noting of places, resorts that have opened since the pandemic began. So these are people who were under construction when this started, and they completed the projects. The first one was Hotel Morgan, which opened in March of 2021, a great historic structure that has been renovated in Morgantown. The second one, the Corduroy Inn, which is a new boutique luxury hotel up at Snowshoe, opened in December of 2020, right in the heat of the pandemic. Timberline, if you haven't been there to see the upgrades that the new owners from Indiana have done, it is a fabulous, fabulous resort. And then last but not least, just last week, there was a new hotel that opened up in White Sulphur Springs, the Schoolhouse Hotel. Again, somebody who came in, took a historic structure, repurposed it, a really, really great project. All in all, in the last couple of years, we have seen more than $250 million in new investments, and that number keeps going. I used to personally handle all of the economic development work for our office. It got to be more than I could do. Even in all the evenings that I work and weekends on it, I couldn't do it. So now we actually have a team of people doing that. For the first time, I will say we've got both in-state companies like Adventures on the Gorge who are looking for new opportunities and venturing into new places like Summersville. But then we've also got out-of-state companies who are calling us and saying, hey, we're seeing the numbers on West Virginia. We're interested in coming to your state. So we're really excited about the future of this one. The next thing I'll mention is that our state parks continue to grow. I was with the governor and Baby Dog yesterday at Pipe Stem, cutting the ribbon on the new lodge renovations. It's about $8.5 million there. Through the governor and legislative support, we have put $151 million into the parks. Every single cabin, all of the lodges, we've even built a new lodge. We've just done so much to bring those up. So if you haven't visited a state park recently, I encourage you to do so. I think you will be really, really excited to see what your West Virginia parks look like these days. And again, they are one of the groups that has really seen added visitation from West Virginians during the pandemic. Almost 10 million people visited our parks last year. And that was up from a record-breaking year of about 7 before the pandemic. So we are really excited about West Virginians getting out and exploring places, especially parks. Another area where we're seeing a lot of interest is hunting and fishing. Hunting and fishing license sales, if you read about this nationally, there's been a decline. There are fewer people getting into the sports. That's not the case here in West Virginia. I remember in the first couple of weeks of the pandemic, the governor said, we're going to suspend fishing licenses, we're going to give them free to everybody in West Virginia. And as the person who looks over a lot of this revenue, I was a little caught off guard and said, Governor, like, we can't do that, that's going to be so much money. He said, no, we're going to do it. I'm going to tell you that we're going to end up coming out ahead because we're going to get more people to take their kids fishing for the first time. We're going to get more people outdoors. I'll tell you he was right. Last year we finished the year with the highest hunting and fishing revenue in more than 20 years. I'm very, very proud of that. So if you have not been hunting or fishing recently, I encourage you to get out and explore the great outdoors in West Virginia. Another thing, and I don't want to get too salesy on this, but I do want to mention a plug for our office and the services that we have. We have a public-private partnership fund where we can help businesses with their advertising costs, with marketing. We have collectively purchased with partners like many of you here in this room more than $10 million in advertising in the last couple of years. It's been a huge success. Each season that we've run the program, we've seen increases over the previous season. So we hope that this program continues to grow. If you have a tourism-related business or you're interested, please come see me afterwards. We would love to get you involved. Here is just an example of an ad for Summersville recently. So there's a lot of talk about advertising. Like I said, I can go on all day long giving you numbers and statistics of where we're advertising and how many impressions. But at the end of the day, we have to decide, is this advertising that we're doing working? And it's important to me that we make sure that every dollar we're putting in is working, and if it's not, that we're readjusting immediately and finding places. So one of the ways that we measure this before we get the tax revenue in at the end of the year is we do a survey to visitors. We use a national tourism company to do this to see how effective is our advertising. In our advertising, we test everything down to the colors, the fonts, the photos. We want to make sure that it's working. And the most recent survey that we had found that 60% of those who saw at least one of our ads last year said that they probably or definitely would take a trip to West Virginia in the next 12 months. So that's a great number, a great return. I'll follow up with you all soon on the tax numbers to let you know exactly where we netted out, but it's very encouraging to find that folks are beginning to think of our state in a new light. The best news is that it extends a little beyond tourism. It's what we in the tourism industry call the halo effect. And it's basically a theory that shows, and in particular in the West Virginia research shows, that once someone is exposed to tourism advertising, they think about our state differently. They think about our state as a more desirable place to live, to retire, to go to school, to raise a family, to be a remote worker. And so this is just an added benefit to the tourism advertising. But what we're really doing is working to rebrand the overall image of the state. We're thrilled to be a part of that. We're thrilled to see this needle moving. If you see the top line on these charts is folks who have been here and have seen an ad. And the bottom line, the dark green, is people who have not been here and haven't seen any of our ads. And you'll see the huge difference in how they think about our state. So thinking about the future, I wanted to pull just a couple of statistics to support the idea that I gave you that we're going to have a very successful next couple of years. The first one is that Americans, about 70% of Americans, say they have a renewed appreciation of the great outdoors. No greater place to recreate than West Virginia, so that is certainly working in our favor. We're also seeing that, especially on social media and different mediums where people are looking at travel plans, natural travel and lake fishing are among the top things, up more than 250% on Pinterest. So it's interesting to look not only in the travel publications, but in other spaces to see what are people looking for, what are they liking, what are they drawn to. Certainly an area where we can overperform. Another one is that when folks are planning their trips for next year, or for this year, 60% of them are saying that enjoying scenic beauty is what they want to do, and 54% of them want to go to U.S. national parks. So again, an area where we can truly overperform. Again, I mentioned this one, but I want to draw a little more attention to it, is the popularity of vacation rentals. Over the last year, we have had more than 1,000 new vacation rentals added across the state. 1,000. We've grown by about 30%. The revenue is up way more than 180%. This is actually a national number. But this is an area where we continue to overperform. One where we're taking measures to see how do we continue to fuel that growth? How do we support that growth and make sure that we continue to be a state that has enough housing to grow in this area? And then just a quick little list of what our office is planning to do this year to feed into these trends and to help folks like you. So I just want to run through a couple of things. The first one is, again, we will keep pushing the national park. The national park is a tremendous benefit, and our national park in the Eastern Panhandle. A lot of the itineraries that we're doing for folks now are actually trips across the state. We're trying to get them to visit multiple destinations, and you can do a lot of those things. So that's an area where we continue to bring national and international attention. Another one is we just received about a $5 million workforce development grant from the federal government. We are going to be using that to do education programs starting all the way in middle schools and going up to training programs for current employees. So there's a lot of different opportunities there. If you have a tourism business in the area and you have not taken our survey, please let me know after this. The programs are going to be needs-based, so we're looking at different regions, we're looking at companies, trying to find out who needs help with workforce training, and the funds will be distributed that way. So I want to make sure this area is well represented in our data. Another one is new brand partnerships. We are looking beyond the traditional marketing avenues. So we will continue to do TV and radio and travel publications, but we also want to reach people when they're out doing other things and maybe aren't necessarily thinking about planning their next trip. So we've got a couple of unique partnerships this year. We've got one with the Washington Capitals, one with the Cincinnati Children's Museum, and actually our rafting partners in West Virginia, one with the Smithsonian, and the folks from Shepherdstown who are trying to promote John Brown. So there's a lot of different things that we're doing. We're really trying to look outside of the box and figure out how can we come up with new innovative ways to get in front of consumers. Another thing is the waterfall trail. We are getting ready to launch a statewide waterfall trail. Each and every season in our digital ads, I go through and review performance. And every single season since I've been here for 5 years, the top performing ad is a waterfall. So I decided we're doing a waterfall trail this year. Our friends at Parents Magazine and the Meredith publication are going to be helping us with that. But we're excited and think there's a good potential to not only get West Virginians visiting these waterfalls, but to draw in other folks. And last but not least, one of the areas where we do underperform a little bit in these surveys is when it comes to food. People worry that when they come to West Virginia, there won't be enough variety or there won't be enough quality. So we're undertaking a program this year to get chef ambassadors from across the state to help us do a better job of telling that story. So these are just a few of the things, and I know I went quickly, but I wanted to give you some insight both on where we've been, where we're going, and then how we can work with you. So again, I want to thank all of you. Like I said in the beginning, this is 100% a team effort. Tourism is a team effort in every single way. We appreciate all of you. Think you are great partners, and know that we are also your partners. If there's ever anything we can do, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm very easy to find. My email, my phone number is on our website. You can call or email me anytime, or I'm always happy to come back and meet as well. So thank you all for having me. Thanks to the CVB here for the great work that you do, the mayor, everyone who's here, all of our partners. We couldn't do it without you, and I am especially excited to see these kids here who are interested in travel and tourism, because they are the future. As we grow, the studies show that the workforce in this industry will grow by 20,000 per year for the next couple of years. So I need a lot of these kids to join the industry. So again, thank you. I'm sorry I went a little long, but I appreciate all that you do.
Secretary Ruby, on behalf of the City of Summersville, Convention and Visitors Bureau, and the Marina and Conference Center, welcome back to Summersville.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We truly invite you and your family to come back and enjoy our little slice of almost heaven.
Thank you.
Please come back.
All right, I will. Thank you.
So Chelsea, we appreciate your hard work for the state, and I'm a firm believer, we just have to get them here once. We get them here once, they're coming back, and that's because of the people. They can white water raft somewhere else, but they won't meet the people and adventures that they'll meet anywhere else in West Virginia. And I'm a firm believer in that. Let me get my notes straight, apologize. So on Monday of this week, businesses were encouraged to wear red in support of tourism and post pictures on social media. And the winner of the box lunch prepared by the Summersville Arena and Conference Center for the lunch break service this year is the City of Summersville. So if somebody could come up and represent the City of Summersville, there's a bunch of you here. All right.
Hey, this is owed to the staff. I actually had somebody on the staff make t-shirts for everybody, and they all wore red t-shirts with the state of West Virginia, of course, highlighting Summersville. So this is to the staff of the city, and we've got a great one.
No, definitely very much appreciate the city support. And Chelsea, it's funny because we look at hotel motel tax every time it comes out, and there's definitely been a nice rebound. Yeah, the 2019 comparison is exactly what we're seeing as well, so that's wonderful. So we also had a 2022 Best of Greater Summersville Area contest that was conducted online, and we had different areas that were represented. And the first that we're going to award is Best Campground, and that goes to Mountain Lake Campground and Cabins out at the lake. And for our best hotel, we have quite a few fine hotels in town, but our best hotel award goes to the Sleep Inn. And our award for Best Cabins goes to Chalets at the Lake. And it's interesting, Chelsea said about food, because this has probably been one of the bigger in the last few years in Summersville. We have different restaurants popping up. And for Best Restaurant this year, we have the Original Flavor Bistro. And for Best Nightlife Venue, there has to only be one Tractor Bar, and it's in Nicholas County, the Tractor Bar. And Best Specialty and Retail Shop is Tribal Mountain. Best attraction, I'm sorry, but it's hard to beat Summersville Lake. And that's our best attraction this year. Best festival, the Nicholas County Potato Festival. Which this year's dates are what, Mary Ann?
September 9th and 10th.
Get the plug in, okay. And best event, Wally Squadron, the fly-in. Try coaching soccer over on the field when the fly-in's going on. It's impossible. So a few years ago, the award for Greater Summersville Area's Best Ambassador of Tourism was initiated, which is typically received by an individual. This year, we also added the Greater Summersville Area's Best Ambassador for Tourism Business Award. This year's Business Ambassador has an impressive social media presence with which they do a wonderful job promoting our area. They travel to industry expos, not just representing their own business, but promoting the greater area of Summersville. They distribute annual visitors guides for the CVB, answer questions, invite people, and through their business they provide great hospitality and exceptional lodging that draws lots of new and repeat customers to our community. So it's my pleasure to present the 2022 Greater Summersville Area Best Ambassador Business Award to the Mountain Lake Campground and Cabins.
I love our town.
I actually think if there's anybody that can compete on the energy level with Tracy, it's probably Susan. And then for this year's individual ambassador, newer business tirelessly supports and encourages all the local tourism partners. Not only do they do an amazing job making sure their own business is heavily promoting and supporting tourism, but they also personally involved in many important facets of our community strive towards increasing tourism. This individual always bringing innovative and progressive ideas to the table, always open to new ideas, and I do get to work with her a little bit and I enjoy it, and that is Ashley Wall. Who at the beginning of the season somehow managed to hurt her ankle. So it is neat, out at Fat Eddie's and at the Outfitters, out at the lake, newer business, really, adding different things, paddle boards, all those different things out there, so it's neat to see that change happen out there. So this concludes our luncheon for today. From all of us at the CVB, we appreciate your support. It is about team. It was really neat, and I brought this up at the CVB years ago. It's something I used to see 5 years ago in Fayetteville with the restaurants. It was very popular that one restaurant would be closed on Monday, but somebody else would be open. And the one that was closed on Monday would blast on their website, go to so-and-so, they're open tonight. That's teamwork. And that's what it takes. It takes everybody in this room, the businesses working together as well as the CVB. And if you haven't spent any time with Tracy, I encourage you to do that. And I am 100% firm believer, if we get them here once, they're going to come back. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming today. I appreciate it. Take your time and hang out. Have your dessert that you probably haven't gotten to yet. Thank you.